All right, everyone, listen up. We're going to run through a super important safety briefing right now. This is all about the electrical hazards we face every single day out on our evergreen demolition sites. Let's just jump right in.
So I want you to think for a second. With all the heavy machinery, all the dust, all the noise, what's the one threat out there that you probably can't see, you can't hear, and you can't smell?
Yep, it's electricity. It's totally silent. It's unbelievably powerful. And, if we don't treat it with the serious respect it demands, it can be absolutely deadly. And that's exactly why we're going through this today.
So, kicking things off with Section 1, the invisible threat. We're going to talk about why all these rules are even in place. And it's pretty simple, really. Every single thing we're about to cover is designed to stop three things from happening: electrocution, nasty burns, and fires that can take down a whole site. Okay, that brings us to Section 2, know your role. Because here's the deal. On our sites, electrical safety is never, ever a one-person show. It's a team effort, 100%. Everybody has a specific part to play.
And this slide breaks it down perfectly. Supervisors, foremen, you're on the left. Your job is to teach the hazards, make sure your crew is competent to do the work, and provide the right tools for the job. Now, for every single worker on site, your role is over on the right, and it is just as crucial. You have to inspect your area and your tools. You have to spot the risks before you even start. And, this one's huge, you report any damage you see straight to your foreman immediately. See, neither side works without the other. We're all in this together.
All right, moving on to Section 3, the mandatory dues. I want you to think of this as your daily safety checklist. These are the non-negotiables. They aren't just good ideas, they're the things you must do every single day to keep yourself and everyone around you safe.
So let's run through them. First up, you have to inspect all your cords and equipment before every single use. And I don't just mean once when you get to the site, I mean every time you go to pick it up. Second, if you're working anywhere near overhead power lines, you always use a spotter. That's their only job, to watch that distance for you. Third, before you even think about digging, you get a site map. You check for buried lines. We don't guess, ever. And finally, if you have any doubt, any at all, about whether a circuit is hot, you use a voltage detector. No excuses.
Now, speaking of tools, there is one piece of gear that is so critical, so important for your safety, that it gets its own moment in the spotlight. Let's talk about the single most important do for your power tools.
It's this little guy, the GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter. Honestly, just think of it as a super fast bodyguard for your tools. The split second it senses that electricity is going somewhere it shouldn't, like say through you, it kills the power instantly. We're talking a fraction of a second. This thing is an absolute lifesaver, and it's mandatory on all our standard 120-volt outlets on site.
Okay, we've gone through the do's. Now it's time for Section 4, the critical don'ts. And I need everyone's full attention right now. These are the hard lines, the rules you never, ever cross. These are the non-negotiables for staying alive out there.
Let's be perfectly clear. You don't ever use a tool with a frayed cord, a missing ground pin, or a cracked case. You see something like that, you tag it, you report it. Simple. You don't mess with power cords or file down the prongs to make them fit an outlet. They are built that way for a reason. You don't use your tools in the rain or standing water unless that tool is specifically rated for wet conditions. And finally, when you unplug something, don't yank it out by the cord. Grab the plug itself. Pulling the cord is how you cause the damage we're trying to prevent in the first place.
Now, of all the things we've talked about, if you remember just one thing from today, I need it to be this. You do not, under any circumstances, attempt to rescue if someone is down near a fallen or live power line. I know your first instinct is to rush in and help, but if you do, you're not going to be a hero. You're just going to be the next victim. So what do you do instead? You stay back. And you need to burn this number into your brain. 10 meters, or about 33 feet. That is your absolute minimum safe distance. A live wire on the ground electrifies everything around it in a deadly, invisible circle. Your life literally depends on you staying outside that zone.
And while you're staying back that 10 meters, what is your first move? What is your only first move? This. You call 911. Immediately. That's it. The emergency crews have the gear and the training to handle it. Your job is to stay back, keep everyone else back, and make that phone call.
Okay, we have covered a ton of critical information. So let's wrap this up with our last section, your next move. Because this is all about taking what we just talked about and actually putting it into practice day in and day out.
And here's the bottom line. This briefing, the safety manuals in the office, they're just paper.
Real safety isn't something you read about. It's an action. It's about the choices you make every minute of every day on that job site. So I'm going to leave you with one final question. We've gone over the rules, the roles, the risks. Now I want you to make it personal. What is the very first thing you are going to inspect when you walk on site tomorrow morning? Is it your extension cord, the first saw you grab, the area you're about to start working in? Think about it right now. Make that commitment to yourself. Stay safe out there, guys.